Hey, today we'll go over news regarding the developers' comments about the new stratagems. We'll also discuss what Arrowhead's CEO had to say about a free new stratagem, his thoughts on the overall morale of the studio, another major truth post we'll cover, plus we have so much to discuss. If you could do me a solid, tap the thumbs up button right away and the hype button below. With that said, let's jump in. Alrighty, Helldivers, it seems that the new shotgun DBS2 Double Freedom is going to be incredibly powerful based on what an Arrowhead developer recently had to say about it. If you're not caught up on what's going on, I recently announced that there's a new shotgun arriving in the Superstore on December 2nd. At the time, we had no idea about the stats or the ammo type that the Double Freedom takes. Thankfully, an Arrowhead dev named Alexis responded to a question about whether the Double Freedom fires slugs, pellets, or flechettes. In response, the developer wrote, "It's 4G if I recall correctly, so it packs a punch." Then a Helldiver wrote that it's literally a KS-23, and lastly, Alexis replied, "Oh wait, have we announced that?" If you have no idea about the differences between gauge size, then allow me to give you a better idea. You can see from left to right, 410, 28 gauge, 20 gauge, 16 gauge, 12 gauge, 10 gauge, and 8 gauge. And lastly, the behemoth of a shell, which is the 4 gauge. This same exact shell that will be used in the new Double Freedom shotgun. Anyway, we also know that the new shotgun will have medium armor penetration instead of light, and how do we know? Well, Mitchimus replied to a player who asked if they could confirm the shotgun is indeed arriving in the Superstore, and he confirmed it. By the way, I recently confirmed that news when I uploaded my video about the new Python Commandos war bond, but nevertheless, the last question about this particular shotgun was whether it'll have light or medium armor penetration, and Mitchimus gave word that it's going to have medium armor penetration. So, not only will it be powerful, it's going to pack a punch when targeting medium armored enemies, and I've got a feeling it's going to be the most powerful shotgun in our armory. If that's the case, then I think we're going to have a lot of fun using the new Double Freedom. With that said, what I'd like to know is what do you all think about the stats and everything we know so far about this shotgun? Are you excited or underwhelmed? Drop a response below and let's talk about it. Now, not only are we going to discuss the details about the new shotgun, but we've also got word that the new Maxi Gun Stratagem will not have an overheating mechanic. If you check out this post here, there's a question about whether the orange overheat glow is just a cool artwork design or if the Maxi Gun will overheat. So Alexis wrote back to say, "The barrels heat up as you shoot, but it won't overheat completely, so yeah, the glow is just for visuals." I think that's one of the best decisions ever, making the Maxi Gun not overheat. I mean, can you imagine if they did? I don't think it would receive as much love as it's getting now. Also, on a side note, the same developer wrote that the windup is only a half a second, meaning this new stratagem is going to fire quickly. Overall, I'm glad that we've got an amazing war bond dropping very soon, and I can't wait to let you know if it's S tier or not. I suggest you stay tuned and make sure you're subscribed with the notifications on, because once my test video drops, I'll be showing you everything you need to know, plus more. Next up, we've got a great question that was answered by Arrowhead's CEO about whether we'll ever see a new major order that rewards us with a free brand new stratagem. You know how in the past we've received anti-tank mines, granted to your battlement stratagem, and so forth. The answer the CEO gave was this: "It's been discussed, the weight makes it taste better once it arrives, don't you think?" Okay, take this response with a grain of salt. You know, Arrowhead has hinted at stuff like this before, and this could very well be signaling a free new stratagem down the road. The only question is, if we do, then what would they be willing to give us? Personally, if it's not a new stratagem, I would happily accept a new primary, like the last 13 Trident, or really any of the older weapons from Helldivers 1. But hey, if you could choose one reward, whether it's a free new stratagem, primary, or even a secondary, heck, maybe even a throwable from Helldivers 1, what would it be? Anyway, the next question is about whether they're going to expand custom weapons further. The only response we've got here is that Shams wrote they're planning to expand it further, but they've got nothing to share right now. The good thing about this response is we have word that yeah, they are going to do something eventually. The only problem is, I don't want this to turn out like the ship upgrades, how we've been waiting a year and a half for new ship tiers. Because if that's the same situation with weapon customizations, then I think I would be, I don't know, really downed out about it. I think the whole thing would be a huge downer. And I'm certainly not a fan of waiting for another year or so, or whenever they're planning to drop new customization options. And I'm sure you're all the same too, right? It's okay to wait for certain things like ship upgrades and more customization options or whatever the case may be, but when it's dragged on for such a long time, that's kind of disappointing, right? Nonetheless, let's hope we see new tier upgrades and customization options in the next patch. Okay, on a different note, he was asked about the studio and how they're all doing since the recent negativity surrounding bugs, performance problems, and everything else that players have been rightfully up in arms about. He wrote that it's been much better as of late. He also said that the Steam scores have been trending upward, their development is progressing, and the fans have been super positive about the upcoming new Warbond. Now, quickly, I just want to say the folks over at Arrowhead have remained surprisingly strong through all the ups and downs that Helldivers 2 has experienced in the last 2 years. Speaking of negativity, one of the things that has been talked about a lot as of recent is Arrowhead's tech debt, and that was asked just recently with Arrowhead's CEO stating that it's better, however it's still looming. That's his response. Perhaps by next year, they'll be in a better place and things will be different overall for Helldivers 2 and Arrowhead Game Studios. Let's now switch topics and talk about how Arrowhead is now hiring more developers, more team members to help with Helldivers 2. And how do I know that? Well, look at the thumbnail and look at the job position. It says, for an area director. And you can tell they wrote, we're looking for an area director to lead our game world area, covering the cross-disciplinary work on missions, worlds, and levels across multiple feature teams. You'll work closely with an area producer and the team owners in your area, providing high-level vision, direction, and goals while making sure the team can deliver their best work. Well, it seems like they're trying to make sure that their feature missions and maps are better and improved, which, by the way, I think is a good sign that they're taking it serious and trying to give us some really good stuff in the future. And I can't wait to see what they come up with. Continuing on, we have more posts by Major Truth. The first one is right here. He wrote, "Hey guys, for everyone attending tomorrow, I would like to remind you that we're meeting at a cafe that are nice enough to host us. So leave any weaponry and sharp or blunt objects at home. Ha ha ha." So yeah, that still seems suspicious to me. Like, why would we leave our only weaponry and stuff at home? Who knows? But I do think there's something very sus going on here with Major Truth. Anyways, he continued on to say, "Oh, and don't forget your own anti-mind control devices. We wouldn't want any intruders tapping into our great minds. I'll be wearing mine. It will also make it easier for us to identify each other as Major Truths. Wouldn't that be super cool?" Then lastly, he wrote this and had an image with some fellas in the background and said, "People have started to show up. Don't be late or you'll miss the cake and all the fantastic activities we have planned for the day." Now, all in all, what I think is going on here is that basically Arrowhead or Major Truth is going to reveal something secret soon. Something pertaining the Illuminate, maybe the automatons or something. But I think it's going to be the Illuminate first and foremost, based off of the recent Major Order stuff that's going on, as well as the new upcoming Warbond. There's like some Illuminate stuff there. I think there's definitely something going on, and I'm excited about it. Can't wait to see what goes on, and we'll find out soon enough on December 2nd. Oh, and speaking of the recent Major Order, we have some information regarding the Dissidents. Right here, High Command wrote, "Non-lethal armaments are in dire need across the Federation as sea forces work to maintain law and order while the dissident crackdown continues." Then, right here, you can see that they said that the orbital smoke strike cooldown will be temporarily increased by 30 seconds. And I'll say this first and foremost, that I don't think anyone cares. I really don't. I could be wrong, but I don't think anyone really uses smoke strikes, right? At least I don't. But with that said, there's also another message here from High Command that wrote, "Ongoing non-lethal operations to maintain citizen safety during the war on dissidents has led to a shortage of medical supplies. Helldivers stim rations will be reduced by 1 for the next 24 hours. Now that one kind of stings. And there also is one for ammo and all that. So yeah, that type of stuff stings, but it seems like the dissident activity has really affected the galactic war in some ways. So with all the information out of the way, we have the top comments. First from Lockland13. I'm still extremely confused on how we're intended to grind the chainsaw on an enemy that does not wish to be grounded upon. So what I think Mitchimus was referring to is when you use the chainsaw on like a larger enemy, maybe something like a charger, you can continuously grind on it, and I'm assuming that'll go up from medium to heavy like he mentioned. The second top comment is by Heck Descender 2184 that wrote, "This MO is the MO that we have just had, but repackaged into a bar with some added story flavor." No kidding, it's basically about defending, saving planets, basically us trying to acquire more wins than losses. Okay, the third and final top comment is by Cade8896 that wrote, "I don't care what Reddit says, every time they say something, it's always a horrid take. Staying put while shooting minigun is okay, at least we can move unlike stationary HMG emplacement." Now, in my opinion, I believe you're better off believing your own opinions and what you think is cool, rather than what a content creator or someone else has to say. But yeah, those are the top comments. If you can do me a favor, make sure to tap the thumbs up button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and all that great stuff. Thank you for supporting the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.